always seems something grabs or needs my attention just before I have to jump into the air chair. But I think everything is A-OK now.
OTR 27.085 megahertz. The Old Tube Radio Network.
Ah, yeah, the sound of radio. That's sort of like your television without the picture. Specifically tonight, the Old Tube Radio Network, where our Old Tube radio operators and collectors here in the Central Valley of California gather around their Channel 11 crystals and fire up some good old-time tube radio. You might remember it if you were hanging out in 1958 or 62 or 75 when the tube radios were up and running, and they still are here on the Old Tube Radio Network on a Saturday evening at 8 p.m. Hi, my name is Dennis. I will be the net control operator tonight. We are the Old Tube Radio Network on the air, doing this for about 35 years with various radios and shortwave listeners and net controllers, and it's still happening here on August 8th of 2020. We welcome anyone to participate. We're not a club, just a voluntary association of people interested in old tube radios, and if this is your first time listening, watching, or checking in, welcome to you. Let me jump into, the control room is here. I have fired up with the 1970s garb tonight. I've got the headband, and my hair is so long. I can't remember my hair being this long, but I missed that little 2-week opening when you could actually go get a haircut. But this is, I don't know what you would call this shirt. The collar is about a mile wide. So it should be apropos for those radios that we have checking in tonight. And let's do that. We had an early check-in. I heard it while I was behind the rack getting some stuff, doing some stuff. SWL 93 Louis. We will get you checked in if you're listening in. Take care, and thanks for checking in and remembering this is the Saturday night place to be. After the roll call, we will be checking in and talking with the classic tube radios, so stay tuned for that. Channel 11 is our local frequency if you're in the RF zone, wherever that might be. There was some DX coming in earlier. Don't know what will happen in moments from now. Also, oldtuberadio.net is the place on your Universal Media Netweb to check us out from anywhere. And, of course, the YouTube, Google video that is happening live, or maybe years from now if you are scrolling back through the archives. Welcome to you. Going to the roll call, and I've got to get the right screens in front of me so I will make sure I don't miss anybody. And I think I am ready to go. All right, we're looking for the current 00. And there is Road Dog 507 right up in the up the front row here, saying, pointing to the badge, SWL 41, WWS 507, Alpha Charlie 244, and the Hudson Valley of New York is looking good tonight to get us started off. Thank you for checking in. The Cosmic check-in for SWL 1. If you're watching the video, you can follow along. You will see. Let's try it with number 2. It'll say checking in, SWL2, and then when I realize that OBP has been out there even for the pre-show, checking the sunspot numbers, you will get the checked-in item on your shortwave listener mode of operation. Thank you, OBP, and it is definitely showtime. SWL3. SWL4. SWL5. I better check in for Ida Mama Rose. Saw her, I think, earlier in the week, and she is doing well. SWL6. SWL7.
SWL7 checking in.
And sounding good tonight. let's see. You are in your air chair, so apparently we might get some Tube radios checking in tonight if you are hanging out in the shack. We'll look forward to that.
Already warming them up.
Absolutely. All right, we are continuing the directed net roll call. Just a reminder that you don't have to have any numbers or have previously had to check into the net here on OTR to participate. We just want everybody to have a good time and remember how it was back in the day on your CB radio when life was beautiful all the time. And I'll be happy to see those nice young men in their clean white coats, and they're coming to take me away. Or so the song goes. Heading over to SWL 13. And my comments are sort of working, so I will occasionally refresh and hope that they come up for those who are checking in at oldtuberadio.net, SWL 14. SWL 15. And I will check the Facebook page because some of you check in there. I know Desert Rat occasionally does. SWL 16. SWL 17. SWL 18. SWL 19 is station in Derby, New York, out of area code 14047 or somewhere close to it, helping us set up the equipment and run the cables and do all the things we do during the OTR pre-show. Thank you there, New York. It's always helpful to get on the air in style with a little help. I've got a note to proxy in this guy. Let's see if he's by the radio. SWL 20. And 20 might be listening in. I don't know if he's tuning in. Who is out there? Of course, right in the front row in the special chair, Derby, New York. Anoka, Minnesota, that's Charles, is also out there. He helped out today setting stuff up as well. Woodland Park, Colorado is always waiting for the DX. There was some really short skip, like Northern California. Hello to Kerman, Dallas, Georgia, coming up to you. Somerville, South Carolina will be coming up to you. Centerville, Virginia. Hello to you. Canby, Oregon, coming up to you. San Francisco. I believe that is X4000. Let me see if he's on. Yes, X4000 is there. We're checking in X4000. Squamish. Squamish is in. The BC gang. And Albert says, loves the shirt. Yeah, this is an original issue. And it still fits. It may be a bit out of date, but so am I. So it's perfect. Hello to Spokane. Stand by for some E-skip tonight up that way. And closer in California, Santa Ana. And Toll House here listening in at this moment at oldtuberadio.net. Or other places. Heading over to SWL 21, Mr. JT, who he's got a couple of radio studios. He has the one that runs or that works for the old radio night. And then I think he runs in to the one that runs the old Tube Radio Network. Let me see if I can get a replay on old radio night tonight, where he was featuring the Tram Titan 2. I have to plug in the audio. Here we go.
Night Ranger. Hey, Mark / Alexander.
That's audio out of the Tram Titan 2.
Next weekend, if you want to try to.
That was dialed in to channel 13-ish. He was 13-ish. So tonight, I want everybody. We're going to be 11-ish tonight. So if you can get your dial somewhere between channel 11.
WS38 Ohio. Hello.
If you get your dial between channel 11 and 11A, or channel 10 and 11, somewhere 11-ish. That is what we are doing tonight in honor of the old radio night on the Tram Titan 2A, doing 13-ish tonight. Thank you, JT, looking good and sounding good on the big tram tonight. I think we will get a couple of trams checking in tonight, I hope. Over to SWL 22. SWL 23, Mitch, 23 Skidoo, and I think I saw him out there waving a hand. He is Mitch is in the house tonight, doing a good thing when he can. All right, there it is. My check-ins weren't working, and now they're checking in. Oh, also, I wanted to note that the Jingle Singers left me a note tonight saying that they might have, what did they write down here? I can't even read their writing. They might have some special guests coming in on their way to their concert in San Bernardino. Okay, and says they might be able to perform one of their new releases for us tonight. I won't keep my fingers crossed for that. I can't read who it is. Espresso Trucking Company. Okay, so I don't know. We'll find out more about that later, but let's get through the roll call here. I want to make sure everything doesn't blow up so I can get the radios checked in. Let's try SWL 24. SWL 25.
Hello, Dennis. 25, check it in.
Sounding good. Jerry, did you ever have a shirt that had one of those collars, like the 6-inch collars on it?
Oh, well, actually, I think they were called the flyaway collars. Yeah, the big. That was back in the, I believe, the early 70s when everyone wore Nehru jackets.
That's right. Bell bottoms and those gum boots and all that. Back when you could go out and buy one of these radios that would be checking in brand new. Thanks for checking in.
Hey, no problem, Dennis. Yeah, those were known as the polyester days.
Yeah, I think this is all cotton. So maybe this is a really, really early issue on this. All right, but I do remember polyester, the Sanzabelt Disco polyester pants. Good deal, sounding good. Thanks for checking in. And that should take care of page 1. Let's head over to page 2 for SWL 27. Boy, my noise static just came up considerably. SWL 28. Let's see. I see Dwayne is in. And let me scroll up. Chris is in 28, checking in with the bright green T-shirt. Is there any green in this? No. I don't know if I have any 1970s green stuff. But I bet there will be a green radio or two perhaps checking in tonight, 28. So hang on to your green T-shirt and see what happens. SWL 29, we've got a check-in or a proxy check-in for Mr. Loner. SWL 30, following right behind Chrissy. Dwayne is there, listening in tonight from the Tater Patch, checking in, listening in for conditions from Southern California, not Central. Yeah, the band is long and then short long, and we'll see what happens. Those Southern Cal stations do have a lot of power. You get those East Central LA stations running the kilowatts. They can do a number here on Central Valley. Although we do have our stations in the Central Valley here that can hold their own. So we'll see what happens. Just listen in when the radios start happening. You might hear something. SWL 31, looking for Hendersonville, Tennessee. Don't see anything just quite yet. SWL 32. SWL 33, myself, Bozo Control, the Jingle Singers, Mr. Announcer, and whoever else wanders in tonight. SWL 34. Shortwave listener 35, Mr. Bill, checking in early from Cheyenne, Wyoming tonight, from the big city. Got you checked in. Probably great weather. Actually, when does winter come on in Cheyenne? The end of August. Things start cooling down pretty quick. So enjoy it while you can. SWL 36. And it's Tubish. I just read your comment, JT, that Tubish is not Scrabble to prove. How many points could you get out of Tubish? We are Tubish tonight on 11-ish, somewhere between 27,078 and 27,088, plus or minus your drift. SWL 37.
SWL 37 here, Dennis, and good evening.
Good evening. Sounding good in your radio room tonight. And don't forget, this is the Saturday night place to be.
Absolutely. Where else would I go on a Saturday night?
I often find myself saying exactly that. Where else would I be going? And I know where that is. SWL 38. SWL 39. I was just checking this shirt, as did a lot of the 70s. They did not have a pocket. It's thick. I've got the pocket protector, and it's not happening. I can't. It just falls right down. But I do have the pocket protector tonight, and the pen that we're going to print in sponsoring. Mesa Discount, highest quality, lowest prices. 456 West Main, Mesa, Arizona. 969-2971. Your Zenith dealer. Put that right in there. Mesa Discount. Wonder if they had any good deals on tube radios. Looking for SWL 40.
SWL 40 here. Looking at the beautiful sunset here on beautiful red sunset, and it's gorgeous. SWL 40 from Chinatown, checking in.
Okay, I had to. As you wandered off into the sunset, I had to follow your radio. As you got 11-ish, and then a little bit of 12-ish, and some other things. And it sounds like you've got the audio doing its thing. I can hear the sunset, and I can hear the air conditioner, and all sorts of stuff. 40 is checked in on a 2-ish, 11-ish kind of evening. That takes us to SWL 41 and the 2-for-1 coupon for the next 3 weeks. As Road Dog 507, New York, is our current 00 station. Then we've got SWL 42.
Yeah, that's Proxy and 42 in the game.
Putting in the proxy check-in for 42 in the gang. Did I mention this is the old Tube Radio Network? And that we will be glowing in the dark shortly, so stay tuned for that. SWL 43.
Hey, Dennis, 43, we're checking in up here on the hill.
Hey, you're sounding good. We've got good conditions tonight. You are doing the flutter stop as you head down the hill into Midtown. I hear you over.
Roger, you're sounding good up this way, too.
All right, it's good. It's a good thing to sound good. Thanks for checking in. Let's go to SW. He sounded good on sideband, SWL 44. All right, and doing not too bad on the AM mode as well from the stealthy location. Hello, Ray. All right, not quite the oomph of the sideband signal, but the AM signal is doing good. I filled in for Jeremy on the sideband net on Friday, so I got a chance to hear all the great sideband radios. SWL 45.
45. Hope I can stay with you. I'm having a little receipt fault for this thing, so we'll keep it going.
Okay, the transmit's working fine, so hopefully it will be up and running when you try to key up here on the old Tube Radio Network when the tubes start glowing. Well, my comment sections just crashed again, so I may miss a few check-ins. We will see what happens. Thanks, Paul.
Thank you.
SWL 46. I'm going to proxy him, and he checked in Friday night And I just barely got him from Chowchilla, so I bet he might be out there listening. I just have a wimpy receiver. So if you're listening 7144 out of Chowchilla, we've got you checked in. Let's go to SWL 47.
Is it there? Oh, yeah. Nothing better than a Magic Eye tube. Greetings from the Radio Lounge, SWL 47.
Perfect night out for the Radio Lounge. Probably in, what's the temperature now? Probably in the very low 90s as the sun, we are in the gray line, into the gray line. Sun is going down here in Central California. So we will look for you in future check-ins here tonight.
Absolutely, count on it.
And then over to Mr. KP, SWL 48. SWL 49.
Hello, Dennis 49er on the muffle machine trying to check in. Hope you are doing well.
I'm hanging in there. I'm dressed the part for checking in 1970s radios, and I am checking in yours right now.
Okay, well, mine was at the absence of a correct crystal filter for AM, so it's sounding a little bit muffled right now, but it's all I could do at the moment. So, at least you got me checked in, so.
Yeah, you know what? Give another transmission. It sounds a little muffly. I'm going to try something. I'm going to off-tune you to the sideband a little bit. So try it again.
Okay, this of course still has the 117 in-yard crystal filter for CW. Maybe someday I'll get around to finding the correct crystal filter for AM. I hope I can really make these SC100 sound wonderful. So there it is.
Yeah, it sounds good. If I was about 2 inches closer to the radio, I could have flopped over to one of the side bands, and you probably sound excellent. But yeah, it has that like your half the bandwidth you need kind of stuff. But I tuned off to the side and picked a little bit of one of the side bands, and it helped out. You are sounding good. 73 to you and Sweet Country Mama.
Oh, thank you. She's waiting right back at you. Have a great night.
Hey, can I get a break in there?
Yeah, the station that would like to get a break. This is your old Tube Radio Network. Go ahead.
I'm trying to find out where you guys are at. I'm up here in Seattle, Washington.
Hello, Seattle. This is Central California. It's called the Old Tube Radio Network, and we are checking in the shortwave listeners. After that, we will be talking with the classic vintage radios of the CB day, so stay tuned to your radio. We are also live streaming. If you'd like to pick us up on your Universal Media Netweb device, you can go to www.oldtuberadio.net and hear the live audio stream as well over.
Well, I'm wondering, so you guys are not completed your check-in?
We are working right now. SWL 50 will be up in the queue, but we wanted to take a moment to say hello to the Seattle station. Over. So the band is open. Well, we'll see. It might be hearing 28 and 30, and that's Seattle. Who else? Canby, Oregon might be listening in. Got our Colorado station. You just never know. Continuing with the roll call, and thanks. If you've got a tube radio, put it on the coax and fire it up here for the Old Tube Radio Network.
I got no tube, but I got crystal. I got a 23-channel crystal I'm talking on right now. It's 139, so we are not able to check in. I guess not.
Well, believe it or not, you just did, and you are sounding good with the 23-channel vintage radios. And a little while from now, we'll be talking to and checking in the 23-channel and some 40-channel classic tube radios that were produced from 1958 to about 1978. Thanks for keying up with us tonight.
I'm in Seattle, talking on an old radio.
Well, there you go.
Most modern radios. So anyhow, just wave a hand at you guys on your check-in, and it skipped. So anyhow, Seattle 4311, waving a hand at that band.
All right, 4311, you are sounding good here in Central California tonight. Thanks for listening in and letting us know that Seattle is indeed into the classic radios. Thanks for listening into the Old Tube Radio Network. Let's see if SWL 50 is out there.
Alive and well. And Seattle.
Right back at you, my friend. I know what that radio is.
Yeah, we'll get a lot of those tonight. Thanks, Mark. The radio's sounding good, and the band is open. SWL 51.
SWL 51, check in.
SWL 51. I hope your receive is working tonight. Boy, your transmit sounds great. You've got that dialed in perfectly.
Yeah, I'm actually able to hear you tonight, Dennis. The noise floor is a little bit quieter than one for the few weeks, so I'm able to hear you. No headphones on, too, as well, so you're making a good trip out here to Sanger.
All right, always a good thing when I can make Sangertown. Your audio sounds great. Hope you get a chance to hear the replay at oldtuberadio.net. Thanks for checking in. SWL 52. My apologies, the comments are not refreshing, so I might be missing people here. SWL 53.
Hello, Dennis. 53 checking in.
Hey, there's one of the sideband guys sounding good on AM on a Friday night and on a Saturday night as well. Thanks, Bob. Page 3, getting the virtual cosmic check-in for SWL 54. That'll take us to, let's go up the hill to SWL 55.
55, checking in.
55 sounding good, and we've got the X in the square. Thanks. As around and around it goes, the band is open. Where it's going to land, who knows? SWL 56.
Good evening, Dennis and the net. 56, checking in.
Checking in and sounding good. I know I can do DX to that side of town. I'm always surprised when Seattle pops in. Thanks for listening. That takes us to SWL 57. And there is Mr. Brown Dog Audio. SWL 57 checking in, picked up a mint condition realistic DX110. I have to look that up. I don't know what a DX110 is. Is that one of the little 10-meter radios? I thought there was a DX100. I don't think it's one of their shortwave radios for $30. Not too, but a classic nonetheless. No, anything for $30 that works. I'll call that one up here at some point. I'm curious if that was their 10-meter radio. A lot of those realistic radios, the 10-watt and the 100-watt, end up as beacons. A lot of the guys that do the 10-meter beacons repurpose those because they're a nice little workhorse, and they just have them key up at 5 watts for 24 hours a day for years and years. So Brown Dog is in. Let's go to SWL 58.
Go ahead and proxy in on 58 there. He's probably enjoying cooler weather and maybe doing some QRP operation off the balcony.
All right, I will do that. Had a good time with the net last night. I've got, if he wasn't listening, I've got the info for him on the check-ins, and that is the only way to do QRP, is to have that balcony, a clamp-on balcony dipole dual whip antenna, whatever you do for that. All right, we've got it.
All right, thanks, Dennis. Yeah, thanks for taking over last night. I didn't get off work till 10, so I obviously couldn't do it. So, all right, thanks again.
This is the Old Tube Radio Network, Central California. We will be talking with and checking in Tube Radios here shortly. SWL 59. SWL 60.
Thank you much, Dennis, and evening time to all the SWLs out there. Check me in, Dennis. SWL 60 on this 148.
All right, you are checked in. Joe on the 148 sounding good. I don't know how I can lose a pen on a table that is like 2 inches wide. There it is. It rolled behind all the wires on there. Got you checked in. Was there a braking station? This is OTR listening. And we still might be getting some skip rolling in. How about SWL 61?
61, check it in, Dad.
All right, I hope you're hearing me through the noise. You are sounding great in Midtown here tonight. Got you checked in, Dean.
Thank you, sir. Have a good evening.
And I'm just clicking buttons to see if I can get my comments to come back. See who's checking in, and it'd be nice to see what's going on there, but having no luck. Let's try SWL 62, Rex. SWL 63, that's Bubba out of New York. Got to check in for the New York station. How about SWL 64? Shortwave listener 65.
Can I proxy him, please, Dennis?
We will proxy Eric in, no problem.
Thank you.
So if he was out there, I would definitely hear him. He always puts in a good signal here into Midtown. Well, let's see. I've got the comments on the video page. Let me say hello to Bullfrog 101 in Boston. One of the few places I have actually visited out there in Boston. I had a great time in Boston town, and this was probably 3 years ago. And I think it was August. It was just before Halloween. Just before Halloween out in Boston. Had a really great time. Shortwave. Oh, it's a shortwave radio. Thank you, Brown Dog Audio. And hello to Gary out there in Sacramento. Just headed back from Modesto, where he picked up the Rob on 123B, and he's going to get it and have a great show. All right. I was hearing, speaking of Sacramento, I was hearing a station in Lincoln on 20 meters, which is pretty interesting, talking to Kentucky and Arizona. And then there was a truck station on, I don't know, 18 or 17 or 19 with the greatest audio about 3 hours ago. Probably driving through Sacramento that I heard, so be aware. Be aware that we might have some conditions out your way in Sacramento. Let's see, who's next? SWL 66. SWL 67, that is Bill in, I think he's still out there, in Canby, Oregon. If you've got the 11 meter fired up, you might just hear one of the stations here in Central California trying to make it through. We did Seattle. You're in between, but you never know. How about SWL 68? SWL 69. And that's Ken. Ken, if you are watching the video or listening in, we will get you checked in, because I always see your comments later in the week when you get a chance. Checking in, so we'll check you in now. Let's see, up to SWL 70. SWL 71, that is Stan in Dallas, Georgia, who I know is out there, and the comments came back. Yay! All right, the comments came back. So I have no idea why it does that. So I can actually see that Stan is checking in, and he's working the MD QSO party. What is MD? Maryland? QSO party today? From Foreland? What is Maryland? They must be 2? One land? 2? Something like that. But anyway, I just tuned in 20 meters quickly, and the band looked pretty good. It looks like the conditions were pretty good on 20, so put the X in the square. Thanks, Stan. And someday I will have my little 135-foot doublet in the air and be doing that kind of stuff. Let's head out to Clovis for SWL 72. Proxy for Eric. I will do that. That's Eric and Clovis. Let's see. I don't want to refresh my my comments page here too quickly, lest I lose anything, and then I'll take a chance here. Let's try SWL 73.
Oh, we'll give 73 a proxy.
All right, Mr. MI music instructor, we'll get a proxy check-in. I haven't been listening too much on FM lately, so he's usually out there talking to Pat and the gang. Let's go over to SWL 74. And I will get a proxy in for Miss Jilly. You definitely don't want to be running the 50,000 watt transmitter when it's 90 degrees. SWL 75. Shortwave listener 77.
Well, good evening, Dennis. And once again, thank you for doing the net last night and pulling double duty. Again, out there tonight. 73s to all the listeners. Man, it was nice hearing Seattle come in there. I've spoken to him on sideband many times, and he sounded just as good tonight as he does on sideband. And hello to Kenny out there if he's listening. And 77 on the old Tower of Power in the Tower District, checking in.
I'm just pausing there because normally you tend, with the Tower of Power tends to break a hole in the E layer above Central California, and all sorts of stations will start coming in saying, where was that? Sounding good, and we got you checked in.
Thank you.
SWL 78, let me check who's on. That is Everett, Washington, typically. There's Bothell. I bet that is, I think he showed up from that. I will put a possible check-in because I can't refresh the page just yet. If you're listening, Richard, because I will, if it goes away, I will lose all the comments that are actually there. But I bet I sees you on my item of interest. So we'll give you the check-in on the big screen. Over to SWL 79. I thought I heard him in earlier. SWL 80. Hello to the UK, Cricklewood. The Cricklewood station. Is it Cricklewood? You know, these blimey Americans don't know how to pronounce anything, do we? Who else? Captain Robert is in there. Captain Keyboard. Saying hello to Bozo Control, the Jingle Singers, myself, YouTube, and everyone out there in CB land. He says he likes the shirt. I don't think there's any holes in this. It's a little, the elbows are a little worn out. Everything's still, and it looks like it's fading on the collars. And it's kind of comfortable, sort of, kind of. But it goes with the stuff tonight. Let's head over to page 4. We want to check in some radios tonight. Oh, before I go, let me see what the Ohio people are doing. Bob and Steve show out there tonight. Jingle Singers found the missing pieces to the cookie game. I don't know what the cookie game is. We got the air hockey and the foosball in. I noticed that there was people staying up late last night checking those things out. At the bar tonight, hot mini baked ham sandwiches, baked beans in the crock pot, and I've got a thermos of iced tea. And they're saying, see you after the net on OTR in the green room. That's a place to be. I think they've got everything set up so that you've got some safe distance. Bring your mask. And apparently we might be having some type of a live performance in there tonight. So I know it looks like they're set up for that. One of the Jingle Singers knows, I guess, a band or a group or something that is going to be passing through or spending the night here in Fresno on their way to their big opening out there in San Bernardino. What was the name of the group? I don't even know. It's Espresso Trucking Company. I have no idea. I don't have no idea what that would mean for us. It's here tonight, but we will see. Thank you, Bob and Steve. Page 4, SWL 81.
Right back at you, 101. Right back at you. Take care, 101 down under. Blue Thunder. Big Island. Bye.
Oh, boy, and here comes the mini grass. We'll see what happens. SWL 82. Hey, it was fun. I was surprised I heard 99 and 44 100% of the people. I don't know if they all heard me, but it wasn't bad. And you are putting the hurt on the mini grass here. Thanks, Ron.
All right, thanks, Phil. Almost $2,000.
SWL 84. See, our gray line just went away, and I think it's coming in for the Pacific. See what happens. I'm going to get the gangs checked in there. SWL 84. Jerry, if you're listening, we got you checked in. SWL 85. Going to be hard to hear Reedleytown tonight. We've got to check in for SWL 86, SWL 87, and SWL 88, respectively. The Mountain Maid, Tandy Girl, and Snowy Owl, looking for SWL 89.
Station.
And the station go?
Yeah, can we proxy in Phil, 79?
Yeah, I thought I heard him earlier, but then I thought, well, maybe it wasn't, because usually if I hear him, I'll get him checked in.
Yeah, he texted me and said that he was tied up.
Okay, well, in that case, let's put an X in the square. All right, so we got that. Thank you, Dennis. Page 4 is where we're at. We're playing the home game. Don't go away, because we're going to have some tube radios here shortly. Could be fun, as the band is opening up. Getting SWL 90 checked in. Let's try Madera, SWL 92. Any relays from Madera? All right, I think it's just skip land. SWL 93, Louis checked in at the beginning of the net. SWL, if you can hear me, Dave, SWL 98. All right, and I hear you just fine. Trying to get through the roll call here so we have a little time to breathe here between for the radio check-ins. Over to 103, possibly in the mobile, Cheesy Easy.
Contact.
And the contact, go ahead, over.
Hey, Dennis, I can hear you tonight. You've been on top of all the mini graphs and whatever else floating in there. 70, check-in, please.
Yeah, well, they just popped in, so they're probably not up to full speed, and I'm pedaling as fast as I can here. So you're sounding good, and we missed you last night.
Yeah, it was what the heck? I was doing something. Because I was out working on a vehicle, and sorry about that, but I'm sure it was hot.
It was hot. I was doing the net because Jeremy was away from the microphonium, so I really wanted to check in as many as possible. So good deal.
Right on. Hey, well, I'm glad I'm able to check in. It's been a few weeks, so thanks, Dennis.
All right, and I hope you get that Nash Rambler up and running, because driving the Studebaker just isn't your style. Direct net roll call, the Old Tube Radio Network, Central California, 27085, live streaming at www.oldtuberadio.net, and a YouTube video thrown in for good measure, looking for SWL 109. Shortwave listener 110. SWL 111. I'm scrolling down to see if I see if Bob, sometimes he'll say that he was there, but I don't see him tonight. I didn't even hear him. He sounded good he sounds good on sideband. I don't know what the difference is between AM and sideband, or why he's so loud on that. Maybe he's using a different antenna or radio. Let's try SWL 113.
That's proxy bobbing.
Yeah, okay. I think that's a good idea. Usually I'll hear him before the net, but things were a bit noisy. How about, I won't have any trouble hearing this guy, SWL 114.
114, checking in. And also, thank you very much, Dennis, for doing the net last night.
Yeah, Jeremy was kind of over my shoulder, making sure that I didn't do too many mistakes. And we'll see. I think I got a C+, so I've got a little room to work on, but at least I'm passing on that. Thanks for checking in.
As far as I'm concerned, Dennis, you get an A just for doing it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I had to press knobs on my radio. I have not pressed in a long time to get on that frequency in the right mode. SWL 128 from Fairfax, Virginia, and I have not updated my page on purpose, because I did see John checking in earlier, and there he is. All right, 128, we've got you checked in. Let's go over to SWL 131. SWL 133. And there is Dave out there in northwest Fresno making it through the skip, beaconing in on your long wire here into the Midtown Fresno. Thanks, Dave. And there was a breaking station. This is the Old Tube Radio Network. Over. All right, let's try SWL 135.
SWL 135, checking in.
Hey there, hi there, ho there. Isn't that what they said on the Mickey Mouse Club? Not that has anything to do with the radio you might be on, but it sounds good, and we will probably find out more about it shortly. That is Mr. Green Arrow. Cliff checking in, thank you. SWL 137, we have a proxy check-in. Let's see if Coarse Gold can hear me through the noise. SWL 145.
Yeah, we hear you just fine there, Dennis. It's Tony 145 in Coarse Gold. Yeah, it doesn't look like we're going to have any issues going to be with getting up my 3-beam antenna and tower, so I'm opting for the high-power OCF dipole instead. So, hope that works out okay.
Yeah, off-center fed usually works pretty well. You know, get it tuned and matched the right way. I can't remember if you feed those with coax or twin lead or whatever, but I think you'll be happy with that. If you get it, it's like anything, you get it up at the right altitude, and the radio is happy, and you will be happy.
Yeah, Tim, or like I said, running into some problems with the tower and the beam and all. You know, nothing wrong with those parts. It's just everything else. So we just opted for the dipole. So I don't know. I'll let you know. I might be having a tower beam up for sale here shortly.
All right. Well, too bad that didn't work out. Sometimes they are a lot of work. They need a lot of space, and once they're up, you got to keep an eye on them. So sometimes wires are good, and when a wire comes down, it doesn't take out half of your roof. So I think you're on a good mode there.
Okay, thank you, Dennis. Appreciate it, and thank you for last night also, and thank you for tonight. You do a great job.
All right, absolutely. Radios are coming up. SWL 147. I saw Neil on the video page, and I scrolled up, and indeed, Kakalaki is in there checking in, all quiet on the bands all day, other than a few stray voices. That's sort of the way it was here until just moments ago. Stay safe from the COVID, Dr. Jazz, in the Carolina Sandhills. Thank you, Neil, for that. Let's see if I'm making it up to Coarse Gold with the noise for a second time. SWL 195. All right, and you are, and likewise, I am just looking. See, when I stretch, it's like who was the secretary for Nixon that did the 18-minute thing? I got a foot switch, and when I stretch to look at all my meters that are ergonomically incorrect, right behind me in my Radio 1 keys. Coarse Gold Starliner is checked in. I guess I don't. When people say I sound good, I just don't believe them. I have to look at the meters and say, yeah, look at that. Maybe I do sound good. Okay, next we've got SWL 226. And how about any late check-ins or people that want to jump in through the skip? OTRs are standing by. Hey, the break OTR. Go ahead. Over. All right, 650, sneaking in between Hawaii and whoever else is out there and not doing a bad job at all here into Midtown Fresno. I'm going to jump out of the air chair for a minute. I'm going to get set up for the tube radios. We could have all sorts of check-ins tonight from all over, and that wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. Your Old Tube Radio Network. Back in a moment with the favorite place to be and the favorite thing to do, and that is listen for the Tube Radios. Back in a moment. And you are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
It's kind of a tube radio kind of evening. A little bit of a DX rolling into Central California. But rolling in as well are those tube radios, and we will be talking about them and with them tonight. My name is Dennis, your net control operator. I'm kind of sitting back tonight. Let me jump into the video. I wanted to kind of get into the 1970s mood, so I found the most ridiculous widest collar shirt in the OTR arsenal and put it on, and my hair is long enough to be whatever, like a 70s thing. We've got the headband going on. I remember back in the 70s, I asked my mom if I could be a hippie, and she said no, just sit down and go eat your dinner. So this is the outfit that I probably would have worn had I shoveled off to Haight-Ashbury or wherever you were, up in Big Sur, and done that thing. In the meantime, let's say this is the Old Tube Radio Network, and if you can make it through, we're listening for your tube radios.
135, 135.
45. Oh, sorry, 25.
870 out here, Molly County.
All right, I hear two stations. Well, I hear a lot of stations, but I hear there are two that I'm specifically listening for. So 25, jump into the green room. There's all sorts of good stuff going on. I don't know if you heard the menu and the libations going on. So head on over there. We'll catch you for Radio 2. And jumping into the air chair as he has done so many times before is Mr. Cliff, SWL 135 at 9 o'clock. All right, we're right on time as it is here with radios. And take a transmission and tell us what's going on.
Hey, first of all, is this thing working okay? Hello, 1, 2?
It is working. There was a slight oscillation underneath your audio, but it's transmitting, so let's give it a try.
Okay, yeah, I wonder how much is the radio and how much is the skip. I'm probably slightly off frequency. I know the receive on this radio is about 3 kcs low, but I'm not sure about the transmit. Okay, from Clifton, New Jersey, Polytronics Corporation in Clifton, New Jersey. This is the Polycom Senior 23. Is this still working okay?
Yeah, it is working most excellently over.
Oh, groovy. Okay. Yeah, 23 channels and an awful lot of weird controls. For instance, the mic gain is labeled Mod PA, but I discovered this is the mic gain. Oh, the microphone here, incidentally, is like a chrome steel Polytronics microphone. I'm not sure if I have that in the photo. And also, I'm not sure if you found my photo of this or not, but I'm not using the desk mic. I'm using the handheld stainless steel type microphone that says Polytronics on it. And this also has the Polycall, which, if you like, I will demonstrate.
Oh yes, hang on to the Polycall. I just found the picture, and it is from your shack, as it says it is from the collection of 135. The likeness of the RCA 77 DX microphone is next to it, but you said you're using, I don't know if it's in the shot. Yes, it is. You know, I'm going to go to a full screen. There it is. And I think we're seeing the microphone perhaps on top, the teardrop shaped. That has, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That has a lot of knobs. That is a complex radio, and I like the little burst, whatever it is, over the channel selector.
Yeah, very strange. The dark brown light burst around the channel number, which is nicely illuminated. And yeah, like you said, there's an awful lot of knobs on this thing for a lot of things that don't really do too much. For instance, the meter, there's a knob next to the meter which switches it from PA to modulation to microvolts, that's just receive, and then it will also show you output watts. So you can do lots of stuff with the meter.
7065.
That's cool. I always liked the way the Regency Imperial allows you to look at voltage or current, items like that. Can I get even closer? Let's go. No, I think I have a... There we go. All right, I'm going to focus in on that side of the radio, and I see the various metered positions. Well, that means you can be a very informed radio operator.
I guess that's the theory behind it. The Delta Tune, which is next to the channel selector knob, is very strange. It's not adjustable. It's 3 clicks. You know, you got 0, plus 3 kcs, and minus 3 kcs. It doesn't let you go in between there, which is kind of annoying, but it does work. And here's the polycall. I don't have the unit that receives and allows you to leave messages or whatever. I'm not sure. I've never even seen the unit, but it does make noise when you send. Any way you like.
All right, I switched to the other picture. I could see the S meter just to see if it would, 100% modulate. It looks like it is. It goes full scale what your audio does. It has a very high pitch tone. I'm not good at perfect pitch, but it's 2K maybe. I don't know. And it doesn't warble. Can you hear it when you turn it on?
Just barely. And yeah, it's a very high pitch, and you can just barely hear it. If I have a receiver on, of course, I can hear it really well. It uses directly above the microphone plug. There's a switch. It goes both directions, left and right, and it's spring-loaded, so you have to hold it in place when you operate it. But it does still seem to work.
Okay, is that built into the radio, or is that an external item?
This is built into the radio. Now, there is a big, giant octal plug jack in the back, which is labeled polycall, and I'm sure that there's some sort of unit that's supposed to plug into that and activate all the rest of this. Because a lot of this stuff, like I say, doesn't seem to do much of anything. There's a knob that says PC volume and a light that says message, but of course it never comes on. And a switch position, that switch I just described to you, you switch it to the right, and it says polycall. So I assume it puts it into some sort of standby position and only turns on when it receives a certain frequency signal or something like that. But like I say, I do not have the unit that plugs into the back. So just the noisemaker seems to work.
Hello?
Yeah, it works great. I've got some other information on this radio, so I'll talk about it. So who is standing by? Jerry. Jerry, stand by, because we've got a lot of information on this radio, and it's a fairly new one, and it does some interesting things, and it also has a call select item built in, which the FCC really didn't like. I just took a look at the year this radio was produced, 1962 to 1963, which is the same year as the General Radio Telephone MC4 and MC5 that also had the Q-Bird built in. And then the next year, the FCC said, no, we don't want you to do that. And I noticed the Senior 23 last year was 1963. So Polycom may have had a similar item with the FCC saying, no, you can't have the calls built in. The 3KC is interesting. Maybe they figure if you're 1.5 KC off, that's enough to flip over. And if you're way off, then you can do that way. I will check your transmit frequency before we go. On the other note, it says, the first 23-channel all-crystal controlled citizen band transceiver using frequency synthesizing circuitry, built-in tone filter for selective calling, S-meter and output indicator also serves as a PA system. The Polycom Senior 23 transceiver exclusively provides spectromatic tuning, a new frequency synthesizing concept that both transmits and receives over the full range of 23 channels. Enjoy full 23-channel operation without paying extra for additional equipment. The Polycom Senior 23 incorporates every new advanced feature available to the professional communication operator. Let's stop right there. The professional communication operator would probably know how to read that meter. You said there was microvolts on the S meter?
Yes, sir.
So is the S meter working, and can you see it? Because I'm just wondering what my microvolts are.
It looks like 25 microvolts.
Okay, so as you go, as you go towards the 30 over or 40 over, the microvolts get higher or lower?
Everything gets higher as you go to the right.
Okay, because there's the dBm, And then there's microvolts. So as Mitch was mentioning, you probably have to do the math to convert microvolts to S units. But again, this is for the professional operator. Control, let's see, night volume. The tone, here we go. Where did I leave off? New features include polycall, selective squelch, and ringer. Completely silences the Senior 23 unit until one of your own units calls you. The tone ringer activates similar units in the system, controls lights, tape recorders, garage door openers, blows car horns, etc. etc. I'm worried about. Night volume control monitors incoming calls at a preset volume. Message light remains lighted to notify you that you have been called. Illuminated S meter indicates signals. Polycom N CB transceiver for matchless range, now with RF new Vista stage dual conversion superhead circuit sensitivity. And it goes on with some other items. Voice character, super sensitive squelch with range control and a variable depth noise limiter and electronic switching complement to ensure the ultra high selectivity of the Polycom Senior 23 transceiver. I noticed a price of $350, $360. So in 1962, this was about double the price of most radios.
Yeah, that was a whole lot of money back then. Incidentally, the meter does show all three things. In light red, it shows from 1 all the way up to plus 60 dB. And then in green, it shows minus 3 all the way up to 100 microvolts. Oh, no, that's 100,000. Yeah, because it goes up to 100, then it's 1K, 10K, and 100K microvolts. And then modulation, 0 to 100% modulation.
So it's pretty cool. When you were, running through the Sam's PhotoFax, adjusting things, you probably didn't need an extra meter or two. You just used the one that was built in and switched to the proper item of interest. Very cool. The Polycom Senior 23. Taking a little bit of time here with this radio because it was only produced for a year and a half. Very unusual to have this much technical items put into the radio, as the Citizen band was really not made to be that type of communications. It was more base to mobile and turn on the radio and set the squelch and go. But I think Polycom was certainly trying to market this maybe to amateur radio operators or so that were looking for something to include family members, where you didn't have to get licensed, but you still needed to talk on the radio, or maybe they were going for the crowd that was, no, we're not quite taking the amateur test, but we'd like to have something technical. Very cool. We do have a schematic at oldtuberadio.com, and it's been a long, long time since this one has been fired up. It's sounding good.
Yeah, I wasn't sure it was going to work. It's been a few years since I fired it up, so I'm glad it is working. And I also have it wired up to go mobile, so one of these days I will check the same radio in the mobile configuration. Thanks a whole bunch for letting me check it in. I say it's been a while. I'm glad it still works. We'll catch you later.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't take another transmission. I'm going to check your transmit frequency here, and before you go, we do have fans of the Q-Bird that listen in. That's the tone signal that's on the general radio telephone. But this one doesn't warble, so maybe it's an X-Bird or a Mockingbird or something. Anyway, give a transmission with some audio first. I'll get your frequency, and then you can give us the polytone. Over.
Okay. It's not as nearly as cool as the MC5. I've always thought that was very cool, but I also thought it was kind of cool that this had that little extra feature on it. And yeah, it's fun to be able to use it. I think it's one of the only radios I got that has anything like that on it. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. I'll give the poly call. And you can let me know how far off frequency am I.
not bad. If I had my own Polycom Senior 23, I would have the switch in the -3 KC position and still have plenty of room to pull you in. You are at 2783.8. So about a KC and 200, about 1200 low. So not too bad at all, over.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I thought it might be off even more than that. But now the receive is a different animal. I have to talk to Harvey about that. It's really weird. If I put it on 0, there's a terrible howl with my receive of you. Okay? If I turn it to -3 KC, it goes away and you sound just fine. So I don't know what's wrong. It's strange, but at least I got it working. And with that, again, thanks for letting me check it in from out here in the CB Cabana. Next time I check this one in, I'll go mobile.
You must have the cord. That one definitely has to be I would say a mobile at rest, where you can figure what knob you're grabbing and make sure you've got your microvolt and your S meters and everything set up. A cool radio from 1962 and 63, where if you had $360, you could probably find one of these at an electronics dealer, the Polycom Senior. We know why they call it Senior 23, which is a far cry from the Polycom N and the N8 that we've heard Paul talk on. That only has, 4 or 8 channels. Pretty cool. Thanks. We spent a little extra time with this one, but a lot to talk about on that radio. Thanks for bringing it by. This is your old Tube Radio Network. Real Radio's glowing in the dark. Coming up into the air chair right now at 9:15 or so Pacific Daylight Time. Jerry is stepping up. If we can get him out of there, he might still be wanting to hang out in the green room. Also want to say hello to Richard from Everett, to SWL70. I knew that was you, probably showing up under, I think it was Bothell. Hello to our stations, news stations tuning in from Germantown, Wisconsin, Dundee, New York. Another Fresno, California station listening at oldtuberadio.com. And hello, 25, over.
Hello, Dennis. 25, quickly, going to check in on a general radio telephone MC5 from downtown beautiful Burbank, California, over.
All right, this is a good radio, and I've got the wrong picture up there. I will get the MC5, but a good radio to put next to the Polycom, because it was one of the few that had the built-in tone items. Let me get, I should have a picture here of just the MC5, and then we'll go back to you for transmission. Hopefully you're hearing me through all the noise. And don't forget to give us the Q-Bird. Over.
Not a problem. Yeah, you're coming through just fine, Dennis. Anyway, 8-channel transmit, vehicle receive, and local switch, but I have it on distance. And it does have a secret crystal socket down below the tone signal alert that you can plug in an external X, whatever crystal you want, a frequency you would like to talk on. Anyway, okay, well that's about it, Dennis. And I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate the tone signal alert, and I'm sure there's all kinds of people waiting to check in. So here we go. Back to you, Dennis.
5936, whoever.
Well, that does have a strong Q-Bird. All sorts of modulation underneath on the band here tonight, and that is the band is opening up. I'm not exactly sure where the DX is coming from. Nothing very strong. So we'll maybe take a pause and see who's listening. The Old Tube Radio Network. Thanks for radio number 2. The General Radio Telephone MC5. Looking over the Jingle Singers, and I was hoping they would be able to do a jingle for us. It appears they might be setting up. I can't really tell. They're not talking to me. The whatever the band that's supposed to be in town here may have actually arrived over there, so they are setting something up. I just want to see if I can get their attention. If they can do, okay, they say they can do, I guess, a jingle before they pull the mics down for whatever else they're doing here. So let you know that you are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network, something that happens here each Saturday evening in Central California.
What are the magic numbers?
27.085 megahertz, channel 11.
Are the magic letters?
OTR.
Right here in
Fresno, California.
Radio Magic.
Old Tube Radio.
For you.
And we are standing by looking for radio number 3.
Number 7.
60.
All right. Boy, that is... We have a lot of low-level skip. It's making just heterodynes interesting. Nothing really strong. So we've got 3 stations wanting to check in. Let me see if I can get them in order here. All right. What we've got is Radio 5 will be Joe, SWL 60. Radio 4 will be Paul, SWL 45. And coming up next into the air chair, Radio 3, Mr. Ed at 9:21. And we'll go back to Midtown Fresno. Hey, another Midtown Fresno station. Go ahead, 7.
Ooh, there we go. Radio definitely made a little extra pop on that one. The Tram TR27 Echo. The big green radio just for Chrissy Miller.
Yeah, I thought I saw some conversations about green. There hasn't been too much green going on tonight in the big sense. If I switch over to, let me do it. If I switch over to the 922 cam, I just realized that the virtual oscilloscope, hello, is green. Let me do a little audio wacko stuff here. There you go. We're making the green oscilloscope do its thing. But better yet, and what we are here actually to do is to look at radios, some of which might be green. So the TR27E coming your way in video and audio. Back to you.
There you go. Big 5x7 speaker, big S meter, about 3 inches tall, 3.5 inches wide, and I've got an Electro Voice 638 microphone attached.
Makes for some nice audio. Let's see, the tram tonight that JT was on was the Tram Titan 2, which was the next model past that. But they took, I'm sure they took all the good stuff out of that radio, and they kept the S meter, and then they built the Tram Titan and the Titan 2, which had sideband. This does not, I probably have asked you, this does not have sideband, right?
No, this is just strictly AM.
Yeah, and so that's right, because the Titan came after that, and it was AM as well. TR27E, this is from 1963. Another radio from 1963. That seems to be... But that was the year that things started taking off, not like 1973 when they had millions of Seabeard, but I would say the interest was peaking, and you could just tell from the manufacturers that were just starting to sort of do the one-up. You know, I'll put another extra knob. I'll put something extra on the meter. I'll give you 23 channels. I'll give you this and that. And they were realizing that, you know, people are actually coming up and paying these prices. They are paying the same amount for these radios as they would for a nice black and white 25-inch console TV back in the day. So things were rocking and rolling. Radio number 3, the Tram TR27 Echo. Back to you.
Thank you much for letting me check this in. Let's see, 12 tubes. So there you go. We'll get another one warmed up and lined up and ready to go.
37.
All right, and we'll add 37 to the mix. You will be, Chris, you will be Radio 6 after a few other check-ins here. And let's see, SWL 23 mentions that green is for Queens, but teal is for real. So depending on how your glasses are tinted, you might see teal, you might see green, but it's pretty close to either one. Thanks for bringing it by.
Marshmallow Mobile. On y'all.
Okay, next up is radio number 4. We'll log radio 4 in at 9:24. And Paul, I don't know if you can hear me through all the noise tonight because it has gotten a bit skippy out there, but OTR is calling for 45. Over.
Yeah, it's off and on, but right now it's on, so we'll hope we'll get there for a little bit. I want to check in my Browning Raven.
One of the rare Brownings, let me see if I can find that on the list. There was some of the groups, somebody was showing Browning, I think the BB30 was on. If I go to Browning Labs, the Raven, there was an Eaglet, which was a smaller radio, and I think the Raven was a, I guess, designated mobile radio out about the same time as the Eagle, the first Eagle. So here we go with a picture, and we'll go back to you for a transmission. It's sounding pretty good. Over.
Okay, well, we're lucky if we make it. Yeah, this is a nice radio, I'll tell you that. It's a mobile radio, got 12 tubes in the thing, so you can imagine. I'll break it down a little later if you can still hear me back to you.
Yeah, it sounds good. The audio is nice. Frequency is good. I've got a shot of the radio. Boy, super huge S meter. There's a red, I don't know if that's a red button or a red light to the left of the S meter. And controls are fairly simple. So, yeah, this will probably make a pretty decent mobile radio. Over.
Yeah, okay. We made just fine that way. This radio is a really neat radio. Besides good looking, I'll go to that a little bit later on. There's got a rejection on 80 dB down on this thing, adjacent channel. That is excellent. Of course, this thing is 12 tubers. Dual the visitors on this thing, so the receive is really, really sharp and good. They went all out for this radio. It's fantastic. Back to you.
Well, somehow Browning figured out how to put the receiver and the transmitter, or very close to it, of the R29 or 23S9, which was the Golden Eagle at the time. This came out in 1965. The price was $269, so this was a full $100 less than the Polycom that checked in at the beginning of the net. But it was still a Browning, so probably a decent, I mean, you could run this as a base. It wouldn't ping, but it would be a Browning. And if you were a fan of Edgar Allan Poe and you wanted the Raven Nevermore, this would be the radio. Give it a key down. I'm going to check your frequency out of that, see where you're at. Over.
Okay. The knobs are black with brushed aluminum, and it's just a real pretty radio is what it is. It's for a mobile. For a mobile, it's hard to believe it's a mobile, but it is. So it's a heavy one. It wouldn't work on any of our cars nowadays. Back to you.
Very good. 270844, so a little low, but not bad. Can you tell, are the tubes mounted vertically? Are some of the tubes laying on their side? It's hard to tell from this picture if the height of the radio that would allow for the tubes to be standing up.
Tubes are standing up on this one. It's a bigger radio than the other one you're talking about. The other Browning Drake, I believe, was. But they're standing straight up. Back to you.
All right. I couldn't tell, and I know in some of the mobile amps they put the tubes horizontally, which can be good and can be bad, you know, especially if the filaments get hot and they kind of start sagging and you're having a lot of vibration. So I think that's probably a good way, and they knew that, a good way to put the radio together. Radio number 4 from Browning. This is a very rare, actually, radio called the Raven. It was sold about the same time, or it was sold the same time as the original Golden Eagle came out, the R27, the S23, and I think a lot of people probably went with different mobile-style radios, and if they wanted to get the bass, they probably wanted to have that Browning ping. So nice that we have one here in our local collection. Thanks, Paul, for bringing it by.
You bet. I wanted a picture of it. It's got a red tape or something across there. That shouldn't be there in the middle. So I'll take it away from it. That's not the way it's supposed to be. Other than that, hey, thanks a bunch for checking in. I'm glad we were able to do it. Thank you, Dennis.
All right, thanks for bringing it by. It is my pleasure to sort of sit back and watch. It's like a parade. Watching the parade of the radios go by the radio, whether you're audio or video, and even better than a parade, with this parade, you don't need a shovel. Because the radios are always very nice and clean, as it were. The old Tube Radio Network, let me go back to the S-meter screen. We're on Radio 4. Radio 5, who's Radio? Thanks, Paul. Radio 5 is Joe, SWL60. Are you still there? Over.
Yes, sir, Dennis. Doggone it, I'd like to check in my 10-tuber. This is an E.F. Hutton Johnson Messenger 223. Doggone it, I think it's warm enough. On the back side of this tuber, there's nothing but the plug. Nothing fancy. No jacks, no microphone jacks, no earplugs or nothing back there. It's well lit in the front. Excellent little radio. If a guy didn't know what he was doing, this would be one to own. It does. I am talking on a ceramic mic.
It's sounding good. Hang on, I'll be right with you. Hey. Hello? All right, I think I'm back. Yeah, I had some extra modulation I had to take care of. All right, we are back with Joe. He's Radio 5, and he's on the Johnson Messenger 223. And sounding good with 23 channels. I was just reading an article about this radio, and it's what we've been talking about. Very similar to the Viking whiteface and the Viking blackface. And what they said was basically Johnson sort of rushed to get this radio out because they realized that at the time, was it 1967 or 68, they were sort of being left behind with these base radios that had S-meters and all 23 channels, and they were, they still had the white face and the black face, so they took a very good base, which was the Messenger 2, and synthesized the crystals for the 23 channels, put in a great case with a good audio, and came up with this, and it was a very, very good seller for them.
Yes, sir. And doggone it, if a guy was to own one of these, he'd right away have to go for the squelch. The squelch is what turns on the radio. And then you'd reach over and, of course, control the volume. It has a nice meter. And as of right now, doggone it, I've got the original stock mic, desk mic on hold. I am still working on the Element. So I'm talking on the ceramic microphone that it came with. But other than that, we appreciate you letting us check this one in, and we'll let the next one go.
Yeah, it's got nice loud audio. Those radios are known for that, really strong transmitters. I'm trying to think, when Larry Radio Ham Guy was on, he actually worked for E.F. Johnson in the mid-'80s. And he did say that that was a popular radio, very well built. The one thing he said was the crystals tended to drift, but I think we've checked the frequency on that, and that one, it really is in good shape on the crystals, and I think that is synthesized. So if you've got I think there's 4 mixing in to make the channel, so if they're all in line, you're good. You get one of them out, and then you get 4 or 5 channels, it'll be off a little bit. Radio number 5, the E.F. Johnson Messenger 223, built from 1969 to 1972, ran about $225, so a very good deal, and that was 115-volt base station only. If you wanted a mobile from E.F. Johnson, you had to go with one of the, like the Viking Messenger 2, and they had a 123 and a 323. Johnson had a lot of mobile radios because they were making commercial stuff, and a lot of solid-state things as well. Thanks for bringing it by.
Thank you, Dennis.
And more information about that radio in Sam's CB23, page 53, if you're looking for things. 9:34, before we go to the Jingle Singers, we have one more radio that is patiently standing by. Chris is in the house. Hello, 37.
And hello, Dennis. Well, Dennis, I want to check in my General radio telephone, my Super MC11A, a 24-channel tuber that glows in the dark, and we're running this in here with the handheld stock microphone. Over.
And just a note, do you leave that radio on, leave it warming up all the time, or do you go ahead and power it down and then on Saturday evenings turn it on for the net?
The latter half is what I do. I turned it on, about 30 minutes ago, 35 minutes ago I turned it on, and it's been warming up all this time. Over.
All right, very good. I know some stations used to tell me, I just leave the radio on all the time and turn the volume down or the squelch up, and that way it's set and ready to go. But this one always seems to be on frequency and doing perfectly with few problems. So I thought, well, maybe for those wanting to know your secrets, but now they know. Just treat it like any other radio, and it will work just fine. Super MC11A. They made a lot of the Super MC series. I don't know how many of the 11As they made, because they had an MC11 and an MC12, an 8 and a 9. This was updated, probably their last of the last updates that got FCC type accepted, and as always, it's very loud, very good, and give us a transmission.
Oh, you betcha. Well, I'm always happy to check this one in. And, one day I noticed when looking at the meters, it always swings forward.
Yeah, that's what you want. I bet that'll look good on a scope as well for some good forward modulation, and probably very. I'm sure that's with asymmetrical audio doing 100% plus on that. Let's see, for the green radio fans, we have the infamous green radio dial. Is the channel selector, is it green all the way around? If you go from channel 1 to channel 23, it's still green?
Absolutely, all the way around.
All right, cool. I know on the Pierce Simpson that I have, the Guardian 23, I think the channels change color for some reason. They have, I guess, certain channels were designated for certain things, and then they put these little color blocks between them. But I like the green background, so I always keep that light illuminated. And of course, this one is purposely set on channel 11, as Cliff does for most of his photos for OTR. This is, when it comes down to radios that check in, this is one of the OTR fan favorites. So thanks if you've got to do one radio, this is always a good one to pick.
Okay. Well, hang on just a second. I'm going to spin the dial and make sure every single one. If I'm wondering if that one, that 24 channel, I wonder if it's different. Let me check.
All right. We'll see. Let me go back to the close-up. So what Chris is doing is he's grabbing the channel selector knob and he's clicking it. We're 11-ish here tonight. Old Radio Night was in the 13-ish channel, but we're 11-ish, somewhere between 10 and 11 and 12. So he's flipping the dial around to see if there is green all the way around. This radio does do the Civil Air Patrol. It's got a 24th position channel, and he's just seeing if that is specifically marked in a different color. So we'll find out.
No, it's not a different color, but it is definitely marked.
Does it say CP or what? How is it marked?
Just a second, I'll check real quick. It is CAP.
Civil Air Patrol. All right, and that was 26 megahertz, and that's probably allowed you to officially and legally put that octa plug in the back to go up to 10-watt output, which is, I think, what they allowed that. Radio number 6, the General Radio Telephone Super MC11A. It's sounding good, Chris, and like I said, it's a fan favorite of the Old Tube Radio Network.
All right, thank you, Dennis. I'll be out listening to it.
Number 7.
Very good. And we have 939 Radio 7. Do we? Yes, we have Radio 7. SWL7 at the microphonium, and I'm going to fudge a bit and mark it in at 9:37. Let's clear the rigs, and I know I'll be looking in my B Rolodex for Brownings. Go ahead, over.
And there we go. The Browning R68 T68 Golden Eagle with the banana type microphone.
R68 T68. If you're listening, Harvey, he's away from the radio, but he might be listening in on the audio stream. There we go. Let me go to the full page and get a likeness of the radio. I'm still trying to say I couldn't get my... oh, there we go. Got my comments back. Doesn't seem like there's anything new. All right, we're looking at the radio. Give us a transmission.
There you go. Well, this is the only ping that it has. I guess it's kind of a little bit of a mid-range kind of a ping. It's not really short, and it's not excruciatingly long, so it's not too bad anyway. And thanks to Harvey, he resurrected this one and got it back to life.
Yeah, he's real good with the R68 T60. That is one of his more favoritist radios. He has been checking on his for years and years, for decades, as a matter of fact, here on the Old Tube Radio Network. So I think he really does want to make sure that at least more than one gets checked in on a round. So we're marking one in tonight, and it is appropriately Radio 7 tonight, looking good as always from Browning Laboratories. Let me scroll up on the picture. The new Golden Eagle represents the ultimate in citizen band radio stations. It gives you receiver specifications. It gives you transmitter specifications. Oh, there's the tubes. Now, I'm not taking a tube count tonight, but if I were, they are right in front of me. So it lists all the tubes in the transmitter and all the tubes in the receiver. Over 30 years of progress in electronics. See it now at your Browning franchised service and sales center. From Laconia, New Hampshire, Browning Laboratories. Back to you.
Well, thank you, Dennis. And with that, I'll get another radio ready.
Okay, and I want to go over to the Jingle Singers. They had me thinking. See, they're moving stuff around over there. Apparently, there is... All right, let me see. There's a group, a musical group that has... wandered into town. I guess they're spending the night here because they can't get to L.A. They got a big gig in San Bernardino. They're called the Espresso Trucking Company. And do I have their CD? Oh, they're holding it up. They're holding it up through the glass. Of course I can't see that. Maybe if I shine the flashlight. Helium. What is it? Helium. Helium is overrated. That is the title of their, I guess, their CD that they're promoting. And apparently they have, according to... Hold on a second. All right. Yeah, they said they actually have a cut on that CD that they did specifically for the Old Tube Radio Network. Okay, well, that's interesting. Can you hear me over there? Are you ready to do that right now? It's 9:43. Hold on a second.
Station?
Yeah, station, go ahead.
I don't know if this is working or not, but 77's got a 2-watt radio to check in. Yeah,
it's 2 watts, 2 watts and a wire. I think that's what they said. Let's make it radio number 8 at 9:43. Liking the audio on that for that 2 watts. We'll go back to you, and you can give us the scoop, the skinny on what's going on there, because it's sounding good. Over.
Okay, I didn't mean to interrupt the jingle singer, but I didn't know if this thing's working or not, but I guess it is. And that light is glowing all the time. I don't know, is it got anomalies or anything, or is it okay?
No, I think it's okay. I'm looking at the S meter. It's got good forward movement. The audio is probably about as loud as you would want to get. It's got full fidelity, and you're not screaming into it. I didn't know if I heard flat topping there for a thing, but I wouldn't touch anything. Don't touch anything right now because it sounds really good. And it looks good on the meter. We'll check out the frequency. Yeah, the Jingle Singers are getting ready. They're putting a band up or something, so that'll give them time to set up or whatever the heck they're doing over there. So yeah, tell me, see if I can find a picture. If I got it, I don't know. What have you got there over?
Okay. Let's see. It's got some hum in there. But anyway, it is the CAM 88 keying at 2 watts and swinging to 5 watts. And I just decided to try it, and I put an RE 320 in front of it. So CAM 88 with an RE 320 in front of it.
No, it sounds really good. It's got full depth. It's got high frequency. It doesn't sound like a telephone. Sounds like a tube radio. I'm trying to see if I get an image of it here. I always have trouble finding this. Okay, here's the dual. What I've got is a dual picture, so let me add the radio to it. And what Dennis has got, I don't know why we're showing 2 here. If I go to the extreme close-up, he's got the CAM 88. Oh, I remember. This one had a switch. One of them had a switch under the mod light, so we'll find out which one you've got. The audio is really good. Don't drive it with any more gain, and it's really liking what you're doing. That's for sure. Over.
Okay. I've never seen the modulation light stay on like that, but whatever. I'll just let it do its thing. This one does have the what do they call that? The gain switch and the modulation light.
Gain switch. Okay, so that's the lower frequency. Yeah, I can tell. You have that radio right at the edge. If you really get into the microphone, I can hear some flat topping. I don't hear any hum, but you may have something so low on frequency, or if you've got too much gain, maybe, there's something in the mod light that's picking up and saying, I see that as modulation, even though it's not being transmitted, like a really high frequency or really low frequency that we're not hearing, but the radio is hearing. So, yeah, if you go any way with the audio, you could probably back it off. But it sounds good. Like I said, if you talk mellow and you're modulating your voice, articulating, very smoothly, I don't get the flat topping. So, if you've got the audio thing off, definitely leave it off.
Okay, that's the Dynaboost. I'm listening to it through an SDR. There's a bit of a delay, and I don't know if the frequency is where it's supposed to be. Maybe that's what I'm picking up over here. But anyway, I thought I'd have some fun, plug it in, and see what happens with this microphone. And as it's warming up, it's now doing about 6 watts. So it's getting there.
Yeah, it's coming up. I'll go back to the S-meter shot and see where you're at. I think you were at S9 and plus 5. S9 and plus 5 on the audio with that, and modulation lights working. Yeah, sometimes you'll hear a buzz or a hum, but I'm not hearing that. It seems it has clean audio and lots of it, so that it likes that microphone. I'm not sure how you're getting it in there, if you have to go through a preamp, or you can go direct. Sometimes the impedance isn't there, but I certainly don't hear what sounds like an impedance mismatch.
Wow, I'm Irish. I get lucky. It's going through a Yamaha mixer, so I could plug this microphone into the mixer, and then I run an adapter to a 4-pin Cobra that I had, those guys mounted in the back of the radio, so I could run different microphones on the radio.
All right. Well, it's working good, and it seems there's a proximity effect on that microphone. When you proximity effect on the microphone, when you back off, the audio backs off quite a bit. But good stuff. So mark that one down. It's I'm not hearing a hum. Oh, we're going to check frequency, which I'll do on your next transmission. The audio is good. Your settings are good. I would say you're maxed at the audio gain. You don't want to add any more because you will do some flat topping. Comments on the cam. People are saying they used to call the cam series the bus. I don't know if it looks like a bus or if it looks like an intercom or something. And hello, Dave. Dave is saying that I'm doing my inner hippie tonight. I wanted to get sort of a 70s look, so Dave, I found my biggest, widest 6-inch collar shirt, and the headband is just because my hair is so long. And as I told people earlier, back in the day when I asked my mom if I could be a hippie, she said, no, go finish your dinner. So I never quite made that bus. The 88 model is the name of the radio we're talking with. Dennis is at the microphone. The ever popular Dennis, give us the transmission. We're going to check where you're at on frequency.
Okay. The old grill just keeps going. And it does kind of, look intercomish or bus-like. It's got a nice big speaker, and it listens really well. The receive is amazing. But so far, no matter what I put in front of it, it just takes it. It I don't know. This radio, the audio, no matter what I put on it, it sounds good.
I would say yes. That's a radio if you want to play with some hi-fi audio gear, because you've got some full fidelity there. That would probably be one to do that. You did the EQ compressor limiting, but it don't need it. Someone said it sounds like amateur gear. Yeah, you remind me of the guys on that are keying up the Collins, the 30L1, the broadcast transmitters on 75 meters at night. And they get that snap, and they're on the air for 15 minutes taking an old buzzard transmission and knowing they're sounding every good at the broadcast station, as are you. Radio number 8, the Cobra Cam 88. I'm glad you put it up on the shelf and connected the coax tonight to share it with us. Over.
Well, I sure appreciate everything you guys do, all the listeners, and especially you, Dennis. This is always fun, and I try never to miss it. So the old Cam 88, doing a whopping 6 watts on the Tower of Power out of the Tower District. Waving a hand.
All right, sounding good. And there is... sorry, I moved my chair and my foot switch is in the wrong position. Cobra Cam 88, radio number 8. Harvey is on the crossband, so he is heading back to the base station, the home base. And so I'll get to 20 checked, and he will be perhaps on the air with us. So, yeah, I want to get a radio in. All right, the deal was, and I lost my notes, and they are ready. Okay, they're ready over in the, so I'll pick up some radios here after what we're doing, but I guess we have special guests. The Espresso Trucking Company is here on their way to San Bernardino for the premiere of their CD called Helium is Overrated. The Helium is Overrated album. Actually, they're holding up an album. I guess that would be apropos for the old Tube Radio Network. They might have a CD. And they must know somebody over there in the, or maybe the word is getting out that the Green Room is this new, great-looking place that's a great venue for traveling bands. Anyway, they said on their new CD there is a cut that pays homage to the old Tube Radio Network and all things Citizen Band Radio. So if they're ready, I'm going to see if I can get them, because they're coming through on a different line here. So all right, how am I going to do this? And you are ready? Yes. Hold up something or shake your head. Yeah, okay. They're ready to go. I'm ready to go. Let me put up, let's see, what do we want to do? Let's put up the audio meter. And so here we go. This is an OTR, I guess exclusive, from their yet-to-be-released Helium is Overrated album, the Espresso Trucking Company, and the tune that they are doing for us tonight in honor of Citizen Band Radio and the old Tube Radio Network, something called The Sounds of DX.
Hello, DX, my old friend. I've come to shoot skip once again. Because my linear softly tweaking pinned your meter while I was speaking. And the audio that punched through your RF gain is not to blame. It's just the sounds of DX. In restless dreams I've talked alone, when no DX could reach my zone. Neath the halo of an old tube amp, I keep my mic down like a DX jam. When my eyes were stabbed by the flash of my on-air light, it lit the night and filled my ears with DX. And in the distant night I heard an eagle's ping and a Q-bird. People talking without breaking. People talking about nothing. People keying old tube rigs that crackle through the air without a care. And fill the waves with DX. I said, bros, you do not know how to work an oscilloscope. Watch my TikToks that I might teach you. Swing your beam so that I might reach you. But my words, like burnt out finals fell. It's just as well. Echoed in the walls of my shack. The operators bowed and prayed to the noise toys they had made. And the scope flashed out its warning in the ways that it was forming. Net control said the words of the text are written in the photo facts. And CB tricks and whispers in the sound of DX.
Break OTR.
All right, very good, guys. Thank you very much. I guess a world premiere from Espresso Trucking Company, their forthcoming album that's going to be debuted at their big opening in San Bernardino. Coming up tomorrow, I guess. The Sounds of DX, written, I guess, for the Citizen Band Radio, Old Tube Radio Network. And you heard it last. You heard it first and last right here on the Old Tube Radio Network. We are standing by for radio number 9.
That was great.
I think everyone is rushing out now to pick that up.
I thought I heard someone say a number. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Well, there are a lot of good numbers out there.
Yeah, about number 7.
Number 7 is a good one. And I did hear Harvey on the crossband, so he may be working his way back to the QTH. 9:58 is the time I'm putting down for this particular item of interest. Go ahead, over.
Well, this one was also brought back Golden Eagle Mark III SSB with the limited edition gold-plated Golden Eagle static microphone.
Let me find the right shot that has not only the radio type O, but the microphonium to go with it, as you described. I realized how ignorant I was of that particular style of microphone. I thought it was just a gold D104, but it's much more. It is a special, super special edition that goes well with a Golden Eagle radio. There's the picture. Let's hear the radio.
Well, yeah, the microphone was made in 1976, a bicentennial special. So, yeah, gold-plated. This one's numbered 23162. Out of how many they made? I don't remember.
We will find out. There is Jimmy Fielders is working on talking with. Is it Gardner Green, one of the last remaining people that ran around the Browning Laboratories space, and is going to be asking him a whole bunch of questions and posting them on one of his Facebook pages. Maybe we will get him live. Maybe we can get him hooked up live to talk about that in the upcoming whenever it is that he gets all that. But there should be some interesting information about what Browning was doing and what they did and how they put these things together, et cetera, et cetera. So we will keep that in mind. But in the meantime, we'll keep the radios coming. Radio 9 is sounding good. I'm not taking a tube count tonight, but this one, as I think, if I remember, would add 21.
Yeah, I don't remember right offhand, but I know it's a whole darn bunch. Yeah, just a nice radio. Big radio, of course, two-piece, but, man, this thing's got great receive. I can listen to this thing all day long and not get ear-tired of listening to this. Even the static on this thing's not that bad.
Well, what do they say? If it's YAM and it's close to being on frequency, it's good. Or if it looks good and it talks good or it sounds good, then it is good. So there you go. And always putting in a good 20 over signal here.
Well, I can almost throw a rock from here. Anyway, thank you very much for letting me check these in, and then we'll kind of listen for other radios.
Okay, I'm just dragging my feet a little bit. They're having a big party over there after the premiere of the world premiere of the Sounds of DX. And I was just seeing if there's any apologies to Simon and Garfunkel on that, but that's sort of their own wall of sound. We have our own little wall of sound here to get that 60s vibe, or the 70s vibe to go with the shirt here tonight. Thanks for bringing by Radio 9, and we will be doing some counting in a moment. It's 10:02 already. I'm still not able to, the comments aren't refreshing like I want them to. Like I said, I think that the pages are blowing up, so if I can get the comments to refresh, I will make any comments that I need to comment before we sign out here tonight. But OTR is looking for Radio 10. Who wants to be Radio 10 tonight?
I do. 37.
All right, go ahead. Jump on in, and at 10:03, maybe like the song we had, you have a world premiere radio for us tonight.
I'm 11.
He's 11. We got it.
60.
Is it my turn?
It is your turn. 37 over.
Okay, I didn't know who all checked in. Somebody beat me or what. But anyway, Dennis, I would like to check in my Courier Royale. 23 channel 2 that definitely glows in the dark with the blinking red light over on the right with all the knobs in the front of it and even some hidden ones in the back and whatnot. So anyway, and I am running this here with the amplified D104 Lollipop over.
Nice audio, nice and smooth. Not hearing a lot of background noise or anything, just you, the way it should be, and the way I'm sure that the Courier people wanted their top-of-the-line radio out of the Courier 23, the 23 Plus, and the Courier Royale that, according to the ad, was made for the CEO of the company. He said, throw in everything and spare no expense and build me a radio. And this was the product of that. sometime, I don't have a date for that, 1968, 1969. It would run 12-volt DC in your mobile. It would also run 117-volt AC. It included the Collins 6 kilohertz mechanical filter, which added some extra price right there. And it was 11 tubes. Back to you.
Yeah, well, hey, at least I got it checked in tonight, and it's doing what it's supposed to. All right, Dennis, thank you, and I'll be back out of here again.
Okay, that's good. We've got radios lined up. We want to get them all checked in before we sign out tonight on the Old Tube Radio Network. So thanks for bringing that radio by. For radio number 9, I'm sorry, radio 10, the Courier Royale. Let's go over to radio 11. And I think Harvey is in the booth. Over.
Now I made it back from work. This is the second 4-weeker I made it back. Well, that's pretty good. Okay. The Browning Golden Beagle R68T68 by Browning Laboratories. This is the Series 2, I guess, the on-air light and the 3-position switch. And I have answers to the question about the Polycom Senior 23.
Okay, I'm not sure what the questions were, but we'll take the answers. I'm looking to see, I had a picture just moments ago of the radio which you were on, which I was going to put back up on my screen, and it appears to have gone away. So while I'm searching through the Rolodex here, go ahead and take a transmission. There we go. And we can address, because that was a great and very interesting radio, the senior, well, actually it was a senior 23, but probably very similar. So go ahead with your answer to the questions. Over.
Okay. Let me see here. Oops. Hang on here. I gotta change something. There we go. Can you still hear me?
I can still hear you, and my comments did come back up. There are no new comments to comment on, so go ahead with your items. Over.
Okay, I don't want to stretch the cord. That's what happened before. Okay, the tone signal. How did you know if you were getting a call? You had optional tone filters, order by frequency, and designate letter A through I. Starting at 17, 25 CPS, going all the way up to 29 or 27, 29, 25 CPS. So you and your buddy got the same frequency filters, and then you knew you were getting a call or something. I don't know. And I don't know if you could plug in more than one filter, but that's what they have. And then on the crystals, on the tunable receive, the 3-position switch, where it's 0 and then plus and minus, they have 3 crystals in there. A 0 crystal of a certain frequency, which I think is in the 7 megahertz range, 76.25, I think. And then you have one a little lower and one a little higher, and that's how you did it. The reason why Cliff's radio works on one and not the center or something like that is he doesn't have a crystal in there, because it went bad, and I couldn't find the frequency. But I might be able to find it now. Anyway, that's how that works. The Robin T123B, the Chris 23, like Chris has, with the variable tune, uses a big air cap, about a tunable air cap about the size of a tunable receive cap,
kind of about that size, a little smaller, in parallel with a crystal, like a 7625.
Uh-oh.
And, or something a little higher or
This
lower,
isn't good.
And then tunable air cap into the plus and minus variable in the that crystal. That was a better idea.
All right, you unkeyed just in time. Copied everything you said, and the last 30 seconds, your radio, the audio started fading and doing bad things. So I don't think it liked the old buzzer transmission. So before we go any further, take a transmission to see if your tubes have cooled down and the audio is coming back over.
Yeah, okay. What's it sound like?
It is sounding good. I think it didn't like that long transmission, but you're okay now. Over.
Okay, I turned off the thing. How's it sound? Just normal.
You're still good, just normal. I'm not exactly sure that was the issue because I think your signal hadn't changed. It was just something. It was something in the audio, but you are good. Over.
Well, I haven't checked the tube in the transmitter in a long time. It's got the 2 or 3 audio tubes in it. I'll just have to check that when I can, or don't talk long.
Okay. Well, it almost sounds like they used and were they using the CTCSS or the tone squelch for for FM? Or you have your encode, decode. Kind of sounds something like that, where it hears the tone and it breaks the squelch and lets things through. Very, very sophisticated or advanced, at least for CB radio at that time. But maybe they took what the amateurs were doing and said, why can't we do that too? But the FCC, I think, was sort of like, well, I don't know. This is supposed to be citizen band radio, and you've got too much stuff on here, and you know how the FCC can be. They don't want anybody to have fun.
It might be one of the audio tubes. I detect a lack of ping audio the way I'm used to it. Could be that on the mic that
somebody to bump it down to 317. Evergreen is standing by.
Yes, I would agree that it's probably an audio tube just from the way it sort of faded out and got a little distorted, and then when you unkeyed it, it came back, when it got its second breath. Over.
Oh, yeah, I can tell. Okay, well, I'll turn it over to the other people. 717. So we'll catch you next week. Oh, boy.
All right. Well, thanks for the extra effort tonight. And I did get you checked in on the mobile on the crossband. And thanks for the Browning Golden Eagle R68 T68 Radio 11. Seems like the band is opening. Might be getting some more gray line. You just never know. Hello to Frodex, technical crew checking in on us, polishing up the Nixie tubes. Occasionally you have to pull those tubes out of the socket and put them back in so that they work okay. Let's go to Radio 12 before we need to sign out here tonight. And they're having I want to actually get some time to go. They're having a big party over there with the band, I guess, before they head off to I guess they're going to some hotel or something. They might be sleeping on the floor. Maybe I get an autographed copy of the Sounds of DX before they get out of here. Radio 12, SWL 60, waiting patiently. Hello, Joe.
And 37 after him.
Okay, Dennis. Yeah, we'll make this quick there. I want to check in my pretty green radio, my Robin T123B. And right now, I've got this on external speaker with a pretty amber light. And when it's at standstill there, it's got the old RX light. And right now, it's on the TX light. Now, I don't know if can you hear me okay?
I can hear you okay. Over.
Okay, I just said I'm running the external speaker. And doggone it, everything seems to work fine on here. Okay, I'll make this quick here. Get out of here so we can not hold you up there. We sure don't want to do that. Hey, okay, Dennis. Appreciate you letting me check in my Robin T123B.
Sounds good. And those who have stayed up late with us tonight, going overtime, that like and appreciate the green radios will appreciate the fact that radio number 12 is beaconing in green in style. The Robin T123 Bravo, the very popular and infamous Panasonic chassis that was the rave from 1972 to 1976 on quite a few other radios. The front elevations, I guess you would call them, were a bit different. The Robin being one of the more elaborate, with the lights and the switches and meters for the external speaker and the PA, and of course the green surround, the green case, and the green knob inserts. 5 watts, of course, would go 12-volt DC, and it was 11 tubes running some 6 BQ5 and a 12 AX7 for that great audio. You can find an operator's manual and a schematic at oldtuberadio.com. Thanks for bringing it by tonight for radio number 12. Over.
Okay, Dennis. Thanks a whole bunch there. And we'll get this external speaker off. I'm using a 6-ohm external speaker. Sounds real nice. Well, the radio sounds good. Okay, Dennis. Let the next one go.
Yeah, there was, you've got tube audio. All of the audiophiles liked the 12AX7 audio in their stereo, so you've got something like that. The PA, you've got, a 3 to 5 watt audio going on for the PA amplifier, so that would be plenty if you actually take that speaker, or a bigger speaker, and put it in the external item of interest. But yeah, I found that headphones and a large speaker on any radio, unless maybe you've got something that already has a really, really big speaker in it. Certainly helps. It certainly helps to bring out the quality on AM signals for sure. Thanks for that. Let's go over to Radio 13. What time is it? 10:16 Pacific Daylight Time, and Chris is at the microphonium of something.
Yeah. Here, it's hooked up to a radio here. I am going to check in my G PowerMate Gem Marine Products 23-channel tuber that glows in the dark. This is the pretty blue one over. With the D104.
With the D104. There is the blue radio. What were you were just on? What did you have? Oh, you have the D104 on the Courier Royale. I'm going to assume that they are not compatible. They don't plug in the same way?
No, different size plug. And I have to take the mic head off this and put it on there, but this is the better quality mic head.
Good audio. Speaking of the Panasonic chassis, we were talking about many radios use that chassis. Here is one of them. You take a look at the front. It's not quite as fancy as the radio we just had, the Robin T123B, but it does use the same tube complement. It does have a PA and CB on a switch, the RF meter, S meter switchable, and the TX RX light. But if you look inside, it is still the plate modulated powerhouse. Back to you.
Okay, well, I just wanted to get this one in while I could, and it seems to be working quite well anyway. Over.
It is working quite well, and Radio 13 for the old tube radio network tonight. Thanks for bringing it by.
You bet. Thank you, Dennis.
Just kind of dragging my feet listening for Skip. We're going to do some counting and amounting. So if you've got a radio ready to go, we'll take it before we sign out here tonight. Going a little bit overtime, but they're having all sorts of good stuff over in the green room, and that gives us time to do what we need to do, and that's what we'd like to do best in checking in radios. The old tube radio network, counting and amounting. If I get the jingle singers, yeah, they're going to step up to the microphonium. And if I can switch back to what I need to do, we will hear the thing we normally hear about this time on your old tube radio network.
Tune to
OTR Channel 11,
right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay
Old Tube Radio.
Station.
Hello, station.
Yeah, Dennis, I just wanted to see if that cleaned anything up. I made a couple of cable changes, make sure it was still working.
It is still working. I don't detect any difference in the tone quality. The gain, the loudness is a little lower, but other than that, I think you're still good. Over.
Okay, being lower, is it too low, or should I leave it where it's at?
Well, talk to me. It got up there. It seems to be really a big proximity effect on that microphone. So if we back off a little bit, I think maybe you were farther away. Try it again.
All right, I moved up closer to it. Yeah, I can see the difference in the light. Boy, the light gets bright, and if I fall back here, it gets dim. Yeah, I think when I want to drive it, I can come up on it, or I can just sit back here and cruise.
Yeah, absolutely. I was listening. I didn't hear any distortion on the peaks when you drove it, so you should be okay. You've got a big signal, so like the guys say on 75 meters, you've got 1,500 watts PEP is what you can do on AM, meaning that your resting carrier is about 375 watts at 100% modulation. So a lot of the big strapper guys like to run 600 watts, and then they'll underdrive the radio. So they get that full quieting signal coming in, but then they'll kind of back their audio back, and they'll still get 1,500 watts on the PEP. So you can kind of work that way, I suppose. If you've got a 20 over signal like you have for me, you can back off and do the 70% modulation thing. And if you are out in DX land, talking to Harvey on the west side, then you have to get in that microphone and make the light blink.
That's a perfect analogy. I love it. Okay. I might have some surprises for next week. I think I'm going to do the EQ Plus with the W2IHY 8-band and a PR40 and see what happens. Just having fun. But anyway, okay. Thank you very much, and I'll let you get back to tallying all the radios. 73s to everybody.
Okay, will do. Yeah, those microphones have, a good frequency response. I'm hearing just a little scratch on the high frequency sibilance. So when you get the IHY or the EQ, you can roll that off, and it probably will help that out. But the radio is definitely passing lots of low frequencies. Very good. Thanks for the recheck. And OTR is counting and mounting and listening.
Hey, Joe, you still in there?
Yeah. Oh, man, I didn't know which mic to grab.
Hey, can you go to, Channel 8?
Yeah.
The Old Tube Radio Network last call for check-ins. Over. See if I can refresh my screens to get any comments that we need. And the jingle singers will... Where's Mr. Announcer when I need him? Here we go.
This is the Old Tube Radio Network. Ladies and gentlemen, stand by. It's time now for the current OTR totals.
The current and final OTR totals for this version of the Old Tube Radio Network. Can you believe we have been doing this for 35 years and more? And it's 2020, August 8th. Whatever volume and edition this would be. 13 radios tonight, and SWLs we had 60 64 check-in. Let's see. Let's go over to the scope cam for a while. 10 on checking in on page 1, 17 on page 2, 19 on page 3, and 18 on page 4 for a total of 64 SWLs, 13 radios. The most heard manufacturer tonight as they kind of drifted in, the Browning Laboratories. But we started off with a very cool Polycom Senior 23 from Mr. Green Arrow, top-of-the-line radio for 1963, with some very interesting features that didn't get carried over to too many radios. Probably one, because they were expensive. Maybe a lot of people didn't understand it, and then the FCC really didn't approve of having tone signals and calls built into the radio, at least for the 11-meter Class D service. Radio number 2, Jerry on the radio telephone General Radio Telephone MC5 for the Q-Bird fans tonight. Radio 3, Mr. Ed on the Tram TR27E. That's becoming a weekly favorite, as it has miles of green cabinet and green everything else. Radio 4, Paul Falcon on the Browning Raven, a very rare mobile radio that came out in 1965, sharing the receiver and transmitter components with the first Browning Eagle, the R27S23, but made for mobile use. Radio number 5, Joe was on his E.F. Johnson Messenger 223, a radio that combined the good features, the features of the Johnson Viking, the Viking Messenger 2, and put E.F. Johnson into a very nice 23-channel S-meter type base station to compete at a very good price point with some other very more expensive radios at the time. Very, very good seller for E.F. Johnson. Radio number 6, Chris on the General Radio Telephone Super MC11A, a fan favorite of the old Tube Radio Network. Radio 7, SWL7 on his Browning Golden Eagle R68 T68. Followed by Radio 8, the Cobra Cam 88, 1017. Dennis checking out the Cobra. It hasn't been on for a while. Has some great full band audio, and as he said, he may be working on some hi-fi items for that next time around. Be interesting to see what that does. Can you make a radio that sounds awesome even more so? And good night, Chrissy. Station's staying up late with us tonight. Decked out in the green PJs, thinking of all things green, no doubt. 73 to you. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Radio number 9, Mr. Ed on the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB with the Golden Eagle microphonium, the D104, limited edition. Radio 10, the Courier Royale, top-of-the-line Courier for the day. Thanks to Chris for that. Radio 11, Harvey jumping into the mix. Good that he got back in time to share with us the Browning Golden Beagle. No, the Browning Laboratories Golden Beagle R68 T68. I write it wrong, but I can say it right. Radio 12, Mr. Hustler on the Robin T123B. Doesn't matter what you do, you can't make that radio sound bad. Whatever microphone you have or how you ever tune it up, it won't do it. It's going to make you sound good no matter what you do. And Radio 13 tonight, the Gem Marine Products G PowerMate. Thanks to our radio operators that take time out of their Saturday evenings to join us on the old Tube Radio Network that has kept us on for so long. Our SWLs tuning in, enjoying the fun. Also, world premiere tonight, the Espresso Trucking Company, so they say, with their soon-to-be released album. And the hit, I guess it's a hit. It's going to be a hit. Sounds of DX. Helium is overrated. Look for that at your local Walgreens. From Espresso Trucking. I'm glad they actually popped by tonight. It's very rare. It's been a very long time that we've had the exclusive items here on the Old Tube Radio Network tonight. So enjoyed that. And 73 to all of you, as the Old Tube Radio Network says good night. And thanks for listening. Also, I'd like to thank SearchLawrence.com that keeps the Nixie tubes up and running. I think they're going to get a scrubbing and a time check coming up. Good night, everybody.
Thanks, Dennis. Good night.
And Tiger Club, if I didn't say goodnight to you, 73 to you, Paul Williams. Not the singer, I bet, but Paul nonetheless saying have a good weekend. I will try. And goodnight, Mitch, and Dave, and whoever else is out there listening. There's still some stations listening in, tuning in. Tried to refresh the comments, but it takes 5 minutes. But that's okay. At least I can see them, and we'll. I'm not going to do any DXing tonight. The band I think is open. There's still stuff popping in, so head over to 10 meters and look for your 10-meter beacons and see if there's DX near you. I'm going to jump out of my 1970s garb and get back into the 20th century. Good night, everybody. And Keith, listening in from Virginia, staying up late tonight out there in Fourland. We have a couple of four calls stations that listen in to us, or some that are actually in Fourland but have 6 calls. So that's a popular place. Also, it's a really good when 10 meter AM is open during the day. I hear a lot of four calls, so maybe we'll chat on 10 meter AM when I get the antennas up and the band opens up here in the next, I don't know, year, 2 years, 3 years. The Cycle 25 hopefully will be good.
Are we still on the air? Break OTR?
Good, I think they're done.
I'm just now getting back into the radio lounge here. So everything is all wrapped up and everything?
I believe so.
Oh, shoot, I just got off of a monster-long phone call. Gosh darn it. Oh, well.
He was just there, too.
Yeah, that's kind of why I piped up. I heard him talking there. Oh, well, gosh. I wasted all that electricity warming these tubes up for nothing. That's all right.
Radio, I just step out of the chair, and I had stuff on. I was just coming to shut things down. I hear an item of interest. Over.
Yeah, it's interesting for me, but I don't know if it's interesting enough to put it down on the roll call, or not the roll call, the tube check-in. I'm sorry, I got involved in a monster phone call about buying used cars and just got off and went running in here really quick. I heard your voice, so I thought, no, thank goodness that he's still doing OTR, but I think I missed out.
Yeah, this is the monster phone call frequency. Well, what have you got? It sounds like you're actually on the radio. I've got the list in front of me. The video is still up. The audio is still up. The stations are, if you look out, go up to the balcony and look out over the parking lot, the audience is filtering out to the parking lot. For those who like to stay and watch the credits, like I do, what have you got? You're going to be Radio 14. Over.
Oh, that's awesome. You know, this reminded me of a concert I went to, actually. Was it San Francisco or somewhere else? The whole symphony was over, and I think some of the musicians had walked off stage, but the audience just was not going to let them leave. You know, they kept on applauding and applauding and applauding. So some folks in the audience had left. Actually, quite a few of them had, but we stuck around. And the group came back and played one more piece. We thought it was so cool. The radio I'm on right now, I don't think it can really play. Well, it can't do anything music-wise, but it's my Robin T123 with the absolutely lovely Magic Eye tube.
Yeah. Well, speaking of playing, we actually had a world premiere. Musical selection tonight. from over in the green room. So lots of firsts. Let me bring up the Robin. I think Chrissy has tuned out, but she would like the Robin because it has the green magic eye. Let me go back over to radio and S meter. Yeah, there we go. And as you take a transmission, I figure out the right picture to put up here. You will be Radio 14 on the first of the Robin T123 series. Over.
Oh, good. You know, as always, I really struggle with what to say and how to describe these radios. I have something new. I don't think I've ever brought this up. The microphone I'm using right now, which is the amplified D104, I am now noticing, because it's 10:34 at night, almost 10:35, and I think my air conditioning shuts off at 10. I'm noticing that my hand is a little sweaty, and this microphone feels like it could slide out of my hand. There is no textured grip on this. It is just, what is it, chrome? I don't even know. Nickel-plated. And it definitely feels like oh gosh, there used to be what do you call that? It's not a jungle gym? It feels like a jungle gym. And you're hanging at the very top, and your hands are sweaty, and you're just praying to God that you're not going to accidentally let go and fall and break your arm. That's kind of the sensation I'm getting right now. That's a rather unique way to describe a radio, I'd say.
You're using the stock microphone, because Joe mentions that. He said it's just this little thing that gets lost in your hand.
No, this this doesn't get lost in your hand. No, I don't have a stock microphone, Robin microphone for this. I do for the 123B, but not for this one.
Okay, that's right, because he has the 123B. This is the 123 with the magic eye. I guess the 6RE13, which the vertical rectangular item. We're actually looking directly into the side of the tube as the top and the bottom of the light comes closer together for 100% modulation. Which sounds like you're close to doing. You've got nice audio tonight.
Oh, good. Thank you. I think this is probably the radio I enjoy using the most, at least this late at night, because I don't have to scream into it. Do I have any other amplified mics? This is the only amplified mic I've got in line right now. I do have a Turner Plus 2 that I think I used to use for my Browning R27S23, but that's just in my, I don't care for that. I was going to say, in my opinion, I don't care for it. It's just kind of a funky microphone, at least ergonomically, as compared to the banana mic I got in there, or the other stock Robin mic I got on the 123B, or even this rather slippery D104. But no, I do like it because I don't have to scream into it, and even with what I'm doing right now, which doesn't really feel like I'm speaking too loudly, I'm pretty close to the mic, but the Magic Eye Tube is definitely going at it right now.
Yeah, sounds good. Perfect for your voice. Sounds like you're relaxed, and there's plenty of audio. I've got the R-band meter up, and you're right where it should be in the loudness, not too much, not too little, and right in the average. So that is good here on Radio 14. And hang on a second. What is that? Yeah, if you want to do that, we can do that. Okay. As we sign out, before they tear down over in the studio, they said they can sing us out. They can do an encore of the sounds of DX, the Expresso Trucking. So they're setting back up. All right, yeah, I think we got just enough time to do that, and nothing will blow up. So we'll do that after the check-in. Sorry, there's too many people over here talking and stuff. So you are doing good with the radio. That is the Don't Touch the Thing. And one of our SWLs mentions that a microfiber, see, they're listening to you. A microfiber cloth does wonders for sweaty hands and D104s. Over.
That's phenomenal. Well, I got to say, I felt creepy making that comment, but nonetheless, I do feel like I have to concentrate on not dropping this. But I don't know if that was just a suggestion that came off the top of one's head, or if that was made out of experience. But thank you. I will definitely try that. I was almost thinking about gluing some sandpaper to it, but I think the nice microfiber towel, that's a very good suggestion. I like that instead.
I think those are easily obtainable. I mean, they're like you use them to clean everything, so worth a try. Should be cheap, and you just throw it in the wash.
There you go. Someone else was telling me to use Eagle Talon grips. They make this basically sticky tape for handguns. That's essentially kind of like what I described earlier, the sandpaper. So you just in case your hands get sweaty in an emergency situation, your Glock's not going to go flying out of your hands or whatever. But no, microfiber, that works, and I think I got some too. So we're good to go.
Well, there you go, and someone says it also keeps the chrome from getting tarnished from the various body oils and things like that. And what was the other question? Is the selector light also green? Yeah, let me go back to the close-up. I would say so. Your channel selector light now, obviously, asking 47 some color questions might not be the best thing to do here, but it is, on our picture, your channel selector light has a green background, it looks like, but the letter or the numbers show up with the bright light coming through, but the background is green. So those that like green, this is another radio.
Yeah, you're right. The numbers on the channel selector itself and the S meter, they look like the same color. I gotta say, that's probably just my eye. It almost looks like the light in my meter is a little bit dimmer than normal. I don't know. I'm gonna have to compare that to something else. It's probably just my imagination. Since we're talking about things that I don't normally discuss, I would, and especially since there are still some other folks that might be listening, the front of this radio just does not look really pretty. I mean, it's scratched up pretty good. And I've always thought about trying to silk screen it and getting it painted, not the cage to the radio, but the actual radio face. I'd be very curious to find out if there's been anyone that's ever done that before. Silk screen the front of the radio and got it repainted or whatever, so that all the lettering and the artwork and whatnot looked like it did when it came out of the factory. So leave a comment below if you have any advice on that, for sure.
Well, I know it's done. Usually on the really, really expensive radios, like the guys that do the R390A receivers, the Collins receivers, and some of the other really expensive Collins, where the guys that's all they work on, and they've got, since they do it all the time, they will re-silk screen the front or whatever it is that they do. And some of the old receivers where the dial numbers wear off, and they make dials and things. But yeah, that would be a project. I would say probably for that radio, it's not done a lot. You find one that's like a real collector's, and that's what people do to restore them, because then they can sell them on eBay for $5,000. Then they do it. But I hear you. Wouldn't it be nice to go back in the day when you could actually go to the company and say, I need the front part of this radio? Just a quick story before we sign out here, and I know the group there wants to pack up their stuff, so we'll get over to the other studio here and let them do an encore presentation for us tonight. But when I had my Regency Imperial, the guy that sold it to me was a really into everything needs to be perfect. And so when he sold me the radio, he gave me all this information on where to get the knobs, where to get the appliques, where to get the sketching selectors, where to get the inserts. And he had all the prices from Regency in there. So this is in 1972. And you could still get them. You could still call up Regency and say, I'm refurbing the radio and I need the little gold insert that goes onto the knob, and they would have all this stuff. So I bet, if you could get in your time machine, you could just go back and get the faceplate for this. But I'm not sure if your time machine is working. Back to you for transmission, and then we are going to sign out, and we will have an encore presentation. It appears they are ready. Yeah, they said they're ready to go from of the sounds of DX from the Expresso Trucking Company. Back to you.
Okay, that is extremely interesting, and that makes sense that you could do that back then, order a new radio face. That's really, really, really cool. I'm sorry that as far as I know, the Robin Company is probably not in business. I actually, thanks to SWL 20, I do have, I think I've got a baggie full of better looking knobs. And I think I also do have an extra face for the radio itself that I'm talking about trying to improve. It wasn't 1,000,000,000% perfect, and I didn't install it because I thought I was going to try and scan it and try and come up with a way of silk screening it from the scan on that. But like Dad and getting my old 1970s mopeds running, it just has not been one of the most important tasks that I've been dealing with lately. So we'll see. They'll give me something to look forward to maybe when I retire or something. But on that, I'm going to send it back to you. And let me just clarify that what's coming up next is an encore performance of something that had premiered earlier on in the evening. If so, that's very cool, and I'll have to pass my warm sentiments on to them for giving the encore there. I appreciate it.
Dennis, real quick.
All right, and thanks, Mike, for Radio 14. Robin is sounding good. Fans of green radios do appreciate such things for sure, and a lot of people still heading out in the parking lot, and some people holding up the candles for the encore. And hello, Chris.
Yeah, is this sounding all right to you?
Well, take another transmission over.
All right, we'll do it under and over. Just want to make sure this sounds all right to Mike.
Yeah, it's good. I know when you came in earlier before the program, it was way overmodulated. This sounds good.
Okay, well, that was the other radio. All right, I'm back out. Thank you. I'll be on my other frequency.
Okay, this is the other frequency. Good night, everybody. Thanks for staying up late, the Old Tube Radio Network. They are set up. It's always hard to see through the equipment here to see what the heck they're doing over in the studio. I'm gonna head over there. So we'll sign out with, I guess, the world premiere. They're having their opening in San Bernardino. I don't know if it's some like Walgreens shopping center or something down there. They'll be heading out early in the morning, so we wish them luck. Expresso Trucking Company, thank them for promoting the CB hobby, and especially the Old Tube Radio Network. Their new album, Helium, is overrated, and a tune called, or at least they call the Sound of DX. Good night, everybody, and 73 from the Old Tube Radio Network.
Hello, DX, my old friend. I've come to shoot skip once again, because my linear softly tweaking pinned your meter while I was speaking, and the audio that punched through your RF gain is not to blame. It's just the sounds of DX. In restless dreams I've talked alone, when no DX could reach my zone. Neath the halo of an old tube amp, I keep my mic down like a DX jam. When my eyes were stabbed by the flash of my on it lit the night and filled my ears with DX. And in the distant night I heard an eagle singing a Q-bird. People talking without breaking, people talking about nothing, people keying old tube rigs that crackle through the air without a care, and fill the waves with DX. I said, bros, you do not know how to work an oscilloscope. Watch my TikToks that I might teach you. Swing your beam so that I might reach you. But my words, like burnt out finals fell. It's just as well. Echoed in the walls of my shack. The operators bowed and prayed to the noise toys they had made. And the scope flashed out its warning in the ways that it was forming. Net control said the words of the text are written in the photo facts. And CB tricks and whispers in the sound of DX.
Break OTR.